Transform your thinking, transform your life. Ethan Gray sat on the edge of his bed, staring at the same faded wall he'd seen every morning for years. Another day, another struggle, another disappointment waiting to happen. His alarm had been ringing for 10 minutes, but he didn't care. Bills on the table, a job he didn't love, dreams that once felt alive but now seemed impossible. Everything around him screamed failure. He muttered the same words he always did. Nothing ever works out for me. He didn't know it, but those 6 words were quietly shaping his entire life. The encounter. That evening, after another rough day at work, Ethan stopped by a small cafe on the corner of Maple Street, a place he usually passed without noticing. He sat down with his coffee, tired and frustrated, when an elderly man sitting nearby struck up a conversation. "You look like you've been carrying the world on your shoulders, son," the man said kindly. Ethan forced a laugh. "You could say that. Nothing ever seems to go right." The old man nodded thoughtfully, then asked, "Tell me something. Do you know the difference between a prison and a palace?" Ethan frowned. "The walls, I guess?" The old man smiled. "No, the difference is the mind of the person living inside." He leaned closer and continued. "You can live in the finest mansion and still feel trapped. Or you can live in the smallest apartment and feel free. The world you see is not around you, son. It's inside you. Change the way you think, and you'll change everything you experience." Before Ethan could respond, the man stood up, left a small tip on the table, and walked out into the rain. The turning point. That night, Ethan lay in bed, unable to shake the man's words from his mind. Change the way you think. Change your world. He realized how much energy he had spent focusing on everything that was wrong, every problem, every mistake, every loss. He had been feeding his life with negativity, and life had simply mirrored it back. So the next morning, for the first time in years, he tried something new. He stood in front of his mirror and said, "Something good will happen today." It felt awkward, even fake, but he said it again and again. On his way to work, instead of grumbling about the traffic, he turned on an inspirational podcast. At the office, instead of avoiding his boss, he thanked him for a recent piece of criticism and asked how he could improve. It wasn't magic, but it was a start. The change days turned into weeks. Ethan started waking up earlier. He began writing down 3 things he was grateful for every morning. Small things like a cup of coffee, a sunny day, or a good song. His coworkers began to notice. "Hey man, you've been more positive lately. What changed?" Ethan would just smile and say, "I started changing the story in my head." He started reading books about growth and mindset. He stopped saying "I can't" and replaced it with "I'll try." And every time life tested him, instead of asking "Why me?" he started asking, "What is this trying to teach me?" A year later, Ethan was a different man. He had been promoted at work, started a small side business, and was saving for the first time in his life. But more than that, he was at peace. He wasn't waiting for happiness to arrive. He was creating it, one thought at a time. The lesson months later, Ethan returned to that same cafe. The old man wasn't there, but his lesson lived on in Ethan's heart. He realized the truth. Your life will always move in the direction of your strongest thoughts. If you constantly think you're stuck, you'll stay stuck. If you believe you're capable, doors will open where walls once stood. Your mind is not a mirror, it's a blueprint. Whatever you design in it, your life will start to build. Moral. When you change your thoughts, you change your energy. When you change your energy, you attract better people, better opportunities, and better outcomes.